Hey there folks, Rel here. Today we'll be taking a look at the engineer's only unlockable specialty grenade, the sticky. For a long time, sticky grenades weren't actually sticking to anything, and they would bounce just like a normal frag, but it's definitely fixed now and they're actually pretty awesome. So we'll be giving you some specific stats about the grenade first, and then go on to general strategies and finish up with a quick overview. The sticky grenade is fairly expensive at 75 infantry resources per use, but they only cost 100 certs to unlock. A sticky throws with the weight of a standard frag, and it will detonate 1 to 3 seconds after they land. The closer the grenade is to you, the longer it takes to detonate, and the further away it is, the more quickly it will detonate. The stickies will cling to walls, floors, vehicles, max units, infantry, and pretty much everything. The only instance I've seen of stickies not actually sticking have been to spawn room doors and some walls in Biolab, and I think the concrete barricades that are kind of scattered around. It seems to deal the same damage as a standard frag grenade with an identical splash radius, and while I don't have the specific damage numbers, it seems to be around 1100, at least in the innermost radius. Stickies will not, however, deal damage to vehicles, except for the flash ATV, which will take a little more than 50% damage when it's stuck anywhere on the chassis. And unless infantry are sorted into FLAK armor, they will die outright if they are stuck. There's no question about it. And even if they do have FLAK armor, it'll only take a couple shots to finish them off. There is a red flashing grenade indicator just like the standard frag, but if it sticks to an enemy or a vehicle, that indicator is going to travel with them. It's pretty funny to watch people running away from a grenade that you just can't seem to distance yourself from. So those are the basics of the sticky grenade, but before we get into some general strategy, I want to show you something interesting that can happen. I'm not exactly sure what triggers it, but if you have a proximity mine deployed and then you throw a sticky grenade, sometimes the proximity mine will actually travel with the grenade and then leave it where the grenade sticks. So when you see landmines floating in the air, this seems to be the reason for it, at least one of them. I don't know if enemies can still detonate the mine by proximity, but you can still destroy them with your weapon. It's just really strange, and it could be useful if the mines do still trigger as usual, because throwing a mine into a crowd of enemies is definitely more powerful than just the grenade alone. Anyway, as far as strategy goes, the main reason you use a sticky over a standard frag is control. The grenade goes exactly where you want it to, and it stays there. The price of this control is a steep resource cost, meaning that you may want to be a little more careful with your placements. The stickies will burst just like a standard frag will at range, so if you toss it for a long bomb, it's going to detonate a second later, and this isn't a whole lot of time for enemies to react and run away. But if you're in close quarters trying to make a quick escape, toss a sticky at your feet and it will act like a timed explosive with a 3-second delay, so there's definitely some more versatility there. If you run with C4 or anti-tank mines, a sticky grenade can double as a makeshift detonating mechanism. Tossing a grenade then throwing a pack of C4 actually has a quicker deployment time than tossing a pack of C4 and detonating by hand. This affords you the opportunity to run away and pull out your weapon instead of dealing with the vulnerable slowdown caused by trying to press that little red button. If you manage to stick an enemy infantry, chances are he's going to see that red indicator and run into a group of his buddies. In PlanetSide 2, we tend to be pretty good at running from red blinking lights, but turning someone into a walking time bomb is kind of hard to escape. Along the same lines, if you're running with the grenade bandolier suit upgrade, and you know enemies are kind of behind cover, and you want to flush them out, you can toss a grenade next to them, and one grenade a bit further off, so just if the situation is right, your enemy is going to take damage from the second grenade as he tries to run from the first. And even if you're not running a grenade bandolier, you can always try forcing your enemy into a carefully placed landmine. If you think there's a proximity mine at the top of a staircase and you don't want to run up there without FLAK armor, then you can attach a grenade to the wall at the top of the staircase and either blow it up or at least get a hit marker to let you know something bad is up there. I can't really advise doing this because the infantry resources are pretty expensive, but if you don't have a problem with that, then it's an idea that you can maybe act on. And lastly, for stickies or any grenade, remember that everyone in PlanetSide 2 is right-handed, so if you're trying to toss a grenade from cover, make sure that right arm clears the wall before you do. Overall, the sticky grenade is a really solid addition to the Engineer, and while it could be viewed as a side grade to the standard frag, the sheer control offered by the sticky grenade is very synergetic with the Engineer's other explosives. The downside is that stickies are an expensive addition to a class that's already inundated with infantry resource costs. That is about it for the review. I personally do run sticky grenades on every single Engineer loadout, and I find them suitable in most, if not more, situations than the standard frag, and I highly advise picking them up for yourself. If this video has been interesting or helpful, please feel free to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the channel. And if you have any tactical advice or some awesome footage of the sticky in action, feel free to post a comment or a video response below so everyone can watch it. Thanks very much, folks. We're all signing off.